Hello friends, welcome back. We're still playing Primal the Awakening, but this time it is time for a trial by fire. Yes, that's right, you can see on the screen right now we are going to be attempting this Primal challenge, which came out a couple of months ago, and it's pretty exciting. This is the first time I've done one of these. I've focused on the campaign play, but I feel like I can get into it now. So, Karja is the monster we face in this trial by fire. So there is an optional variant which we are going to take, which is the Nightmare mode. So I bought the Nightmare expansion and I'd like to use the Nightmare mode. So these are actually the Nightmare cards. You can tell they're red in the top. I don't think anyone else has done Nightmare mode online yet, so that should be interesting. All that's changed in level 1 at least is the health values are slightly increased. So we then also have the option to include up to 1, 2 or 3 of these Nightmare cards, which are immediate effect triggers. They trigger as soon as they land in the slots. We're going to choose 1. I'm a sucker for punishment, but I'm not that much of a sucker for punishment. So we've chosen 1. This is the one we're choosing, and these are the rest of the cards. So it's a trial by fire. What I thought I'd do for this particular video, something else that I haven't seen too many other people do, is actually talk through the character selection and why I've chosen the ones that I have, and then build the decks a little bit online as well. So if we nip over here, we've got first character we're going to select is Mira. So Mira, the archer, I've never played her personally, so I played a campaign with my friend Whaley, and he played as Mira, and so I have an idea of how she plays, but I haven't played her myself, which is why I've chosen her for this particular playthrough. I will also admit that the rules for this challenge, she seems like a good choice. So I'm going to just organise these cards now, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, so the first thing I think that I start with when I'm looking at a character and the deck that I want to play is the mastery card. So in encounter mode, you can choose any mastery card you want. It doesn't have to be one from your pool. So, but interestingly, there's a couple. They're all good, but for this particular scenario, I actually think Ultimate Shot is our best option. So, Ultimate Shot is when you empty your deck, we flip, and then at the start of every turn you volley, and when you empty your deck you deal 5 damage. So that ability, given the rules for this scenario, feels like the right option. So we're going to stick with the starter one of those, which is cool. So the next thing we want to look at is the weapon types, and I will grab out our options and we will have a look. All right, so we've got some archery options. So again, thinking about the scenario, we will cycle through our thing quite quickly. So Ashbringer, when you discard a blue from hand, deal 2 damage, not bad. Place a lightning bow count at the end of the round, discard all counters from lightning bow and deal 1 damage for each, not bad. Death Sparkle, when you play a card, okay, which one's got the most damage? So lightning bow is probably the strongest option for me at the moment. So Karja is vulnerable to bone, coral, and crystal. I've got the other expansions, but I've decided not to use them until I've unlocked them in a campaign. Interesting from me. Good choices. Coral, when you discard a red from your hand to generate stamina, heal 1. It's also damage 4. It's only 4 reds though, but the coral set is quite good in general. So I think it's Abyss 1, possibly, when obviously fire is probably not good. What's the crystal one? And what's the bone one? See, Tusk Bow is increasing our hand size limit by 1, which means we're going to cycle through quicker, which could also be great. And Death Sparkle, reveal the top card of your deck. If the colour matches when you play it, add it to your hand. All right, I think we're going to go Tusk Bow at this stage, and we'll consider that. So the equipment that matches the Tusk Bow here, Skeletal Spear, is almost a certainty because we want to cancel the effects of a behaviour card. I do like the level 3 armour. You can hold up to 2 stamina tokens. I'm not as big a fan of that. Let's look at the coral set at level 1. Level 1. So when you inflict a wound, heal 1. I like that. And then the level 1 helmet. What does it do? When you avoid attrition damage. Level 1 helmet. At the end of your action phase, you may reveal a blue. If you do, search your discard pile for an offensive card and shuffle it into your deck. That doesn't really align with what we're trying to do, though. The reef-bound plate does, but the reef-bound helm does not. So let's look at the lightning. No, the crystal. The crystal helm at level 1 is pretty good, I think. Crystal helm level 1. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. So how will we benefit ourselves by doing that? Just by looking at them. When you inflict a wound, that probably doesn't help us. So let's go back and have a look at the bone helmet and see what that does. So this may or may not be interesting. Yep, spined helm level 1, recycle 1. Yep, that's us. This may or may not be interesting, right? But I just thought it would be a different approach to these challenges. So we're going to be having 11 health. We're going to have the ability to cancel a behaviour card if we're in the front sector. Karja can't be attacked from the front sector. So potentially Big Jaws may be better at level 1 than the Skeletal Spear. Big Jaws at level 3 is awesome. When the monster turns to your sector, may exhaust this to deal 2 damage for each. Yep. We'll go that instead of the Skeletal Spear because I don't think we're going to be in the front sector often enough for that to matter. So we have 2 deck advantages available to us because we have 4 cards the monster is weak to, which means that we can add or remove 2 cards from our deck. We can also choose 2 of these to look at. So I'm going to do that now offline so you don't have to watch me sit here and talk for 20 minutes probably while I think about things. All right, so we've selected these 2, C1 and C2. So the first thing that happens, or the first reason for that, is when we discard this from hand to deal weapon damage. I love cards like that. This one I'm less keen on. Search a card for a discard pile with aim and add it to your hand. Again, kind of changing what we want to do. This one, however, Precision Shot is awesome. And this potentially is also quite good, allowing us to play, I'm sorry for this tapping, that's very annoying. Play red, red, you may discard this from the hand. So I think we're going to play these cards, which is 3 cards. So those will be in our deck. So we will look at the rest of them right now. All right, let's cycle through the cards and I'll explain what we've gone for. So starting with yellow, prompt reflexes, draw 1, that's fine. Reduce the stamina cost of each defense you play, that's good. When you play a defense card, you may recycle this from your hand. So again, just tapping through the deck. When you discard this from your hand, draw 1, and finally choose a player to draw 1 with a 2 stamina, so that's great. One of the deck advantages I'm going to go for is to remove a green. This one is mostly in for the 2 stamina, but we can add a card with aim to our hand. This one's just great. Whaley used that a lot to draw 3 and then play some cards. This counts as a defense card if it's in our sequence on the top of our deck, which is great. And this one is, you get to draw 1, which again just is tying into our plan of cycling through the deck. This one, at the start of your turn, if the card is the top card of your discard pile, draw 2, amazing, and it's an assist, so that's going to be extremely useful. We've got quite a lot of aim cards, so we can inflict blind. Blind, I think Karja's got a card that you can't blind, so it may not be super useful, but it's there. But the main reason we're going for here is Increase the damage this attack deals by 5 with 2 stamina. You may pay an extra 2 stamina to increase the damage by 6. And finally, increase the damage this deals by 2 for each card with aim in your discard pile. So that could potentially be turned on quite a lot because we have an aim, an aim, an aim, an aim, an aim. So we have 5 aims there, plus another 0, plus, that's it. So we've got 5 cards with aim. So if we play that right, yeah, the next time you play a red, deal 2 damage. The next time you play a blue, draw a card. So all we're looking to do here is just cycle through as much as possible. Now, I really, really, really want 6 of these. I should probably ditch this one, actually, now that I think of it. But it is an aim card, which is awesome. So, no, we'll discard that. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I think I'll keep it. I think I'll keep it. So I've added a card and subtracted a card. So we've got a total of 20 cards in our deck for Mira, which is awesome. And let's just review what she's doing. So we're getting ultimate shot. So when we empty our deck, we're cycling through. When a monster turns to our sector, we can exhaust it to deal 2 damage for each aggro in our discard pile. We have a hand limit size of 6. Every start of each turn, we can recycle 1 card. And when we inflict a wound, we're going to heal for 1. So that's hopefully going to help us manage the stamina that we're no doubt going to lose every turn. I was actually seriously thinking about that other one that allowed me to, what was it? Which one of these was it? When you discard a blue from hand, deal 2 damage. No. Yeah, when you discard a red from your hand to generate stamina, heal 1. That's a strong option. There was something that allowed us to ignore fatigue damage, which was quite good as well. Anyway, we'll stick with this. This is our first character, so that's Mira, the Great Bow. So the second character that we're going to choose is one of the new ones who I haven't used, and it is Kara. I will set up for Kara. I shall be back. All right, I haven't played Kara yet, so this is all just going to be best guess stuff. So we're going to go with Unstoppable when you trigger Battle Dance, and this little sequence thing is Battle Dance. Place a counter on this card when you do that 4 times. When we get it though, prevent any fatigue damage you would suffer, and that is going to be beneficial in this thing because we're going to be cycling through our deck a lot. When you trigger Battle Dance, draw 1 and discard a card from your hand. So we're going to be able to play a lot of good cards. We're going to again lean into the Bone deck. These are all good. Probably the Tidal Waves doesn't really fit what we're trying to do. Shimmering Star was a possibility. None of these are going to get us deck advantage, so Dancing Bones will be our option. And we'll come back to our other selections in a minute. But we are going to aim for 2 deck advantages, so that's good. So we've picked this, so now we need to choose our card. So we're 5, 5, 5, 5, and we're going to have 2 deck advantages. So I'm going to look through those and decide. This may have been a mistake selecting Kara because it's been an interesting deck choices. So I've just gone for the 5 basic parry and twist. Sequence limits something I've tried to focus on so I can get increased sequence limits. This one seems cool. When the monster changes its orientation, you can discard it. This is a possibility of avoiding attrition damage, which is nice. This is if you've got 3 cards in your sequence, play it without paying stamina. This is play a red in your sequence, potentially for no cost. This is overrun the monster, which is exciting. This is increase your sequence limit. I took 2 upgrades that have blue, really good blue cards. So this one is awesome. When you discard it from your hand, deal your weapon damage, which is great. Another increased sequence limit. and an assist. Another, deal your weapon damage and draw. Draw red, potentially draw 2. Another draw, and then another assist and chain into it from a red. So lots of cool stuff there. If we play 3 in a row, we get to pull that back into hand, which is nice. Backstab. When you overrun, you can discard it from your hand to deal 4 damage. Chain after a yellow and remove a struggle. Chain after a red and gain a increase on our sequence limit. Removing a struggle from a red and chaining into a blue. And finally this one, which seems pretty good. So all the stuff that we're going for with her is about increasing sequence limit, chaining cards and drawing cards. And so that's hopefully going to allow us to trigger Battle Dance. And when we trigger Battle Dance, this goes to damage 5. Remember, we're looking to trigger Battle Dance here for Unstoppable to help us avoid attrition damage. And that's really good. So I think we will go the Skeletal Spear, and that's going to be used to, because we'll be overrunning, we'll potentially be in the right position to use it and cancel a card. I'm tossing up here this Crystal Armor at the start. If you have 3 or more cards of the same colour in your hand, draw 1. We've got a lot of blues in our deck, but I do recall using this and it wasn't very helpful because we never really had 3. We'd often have 2. Crystal Helm, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. So those are good, but these ones are, at the end of your action phase, you may reveal a blue. If you do, search your discard pile for an offensive card and shuffle it into your deck. That's good. And then when you inflict a wound, heal 1. So I think we'll go the Coral set, which is nice. So we've gone Bones and Coral for this situation, not Crystal. And that, I believe, is everything we need set up to have a play against Karja. So I will prepare for that and we shall commence the showdown very, very soon. Let's quickly have a look at the challenge details. So if you see here, the actual challenge itself has 3 rules. Let's bring those up now on the screen. So the first one, the keep your distance objective card is removed, which is fine, punishing but fine. At the start of the round, each player discards cards equal to the current round number from the top of their deck. So it's just going to be a lot of discarding cards, which is why Mirror is what we've gone for and why we're going to try and avoid the attrition damage on Kara. And finally, when a player empties their deck, they suffer 1 heat damage. That's going to happen a lot for Kara, so that's why we've gone for healing on her. We're going to try and avoid using the Aylmore. So let's look at the score. We're going to try and go for a score down the bottom here. So if you complete this challenge in our first try, this is our first try, so we'll get 20 points. We are using the Nightmare variant, so that'll be an extra 10, so that puts us at 100. And we've used a Nightmare Behaviour card, so we are at 110. If we don't get knocked out, and if we don't consume an Aylmore, then we will finish as a Beastmaster. However, if we do not, and we do use those things, that will be the end, and we will only finish as a very basic commander. But that's it. Let's get into it. I'm really excited about this game. Like, it's a game that pretty much came out of nowhere for me. I was looking around for a game to play whilst I was waiting for the Elder Scrolls from Chip Theory. And I was looking around and I stumbled across a dude who I really enjoy. His name's Alex from Board Game Co. He does some very good, he's got quite similar tastes to me. And so he recommended this game as it's his #1 game of 2024, which is high praise. So I immediately thought, well, I might have a look at this game. And I did. And I found a copy and I purchased it, as I'm wont to do. And next thing you know, I've painted 22 monster models and the 6 characters from the game and played through 2 full campaigns in the space of 2 weeks. So it's a phenomenal game. To explain a little bit about it, let's go over to the showdown. So what we have is a monster board. And on here this is Karja. This is the monster we're facing off against, which is cool. So Karja has different facings. Obviously a front, a back, left and right. flank sectors. And depending on where you are positioned on the board at any given moment will actually determine if you're able to attack the monster based on this little symbol, these symbols here. So these areas are the rear sectors, the rear and the flanks. So they're the only areas that are exposed. They're the only areas that we can actually attack a Karja from. The front sector is protected. We can't attack from that sector. So what we're looking to do is do 10 wounds, which will signal our victory. And if we are able to do that, well done us. However, to do a wound, we have to hit this number of damage per player for each wound. And this will actually increase or decrease depending on the monster you're facing over the course of the fight as the monster gets angrier or weaker, whichever the case may be. And so we will be cycling through these cards trying to put damage on the monster in the vein of all the great monster hunting computer games I've been told I've never played. And what's really novel about this game, and what I very much like, is it uses a deck here of behaviour cards. And so these all have little symbols on them that tell us when the monster will trigger these behaviours. And so it won't trigger, it doesn't actually have a turn. The monster will just react to things that we do, which makes for this really interesting push and pull dynamic where you're trying to do as much damage as you can, but not provoke the monster and make the situation worse. So it's a really interesting dynamic, and one that I've got nothing but good things to say about. So I'm setting up for the game now, but we'll continue explaining a few things. This is called the attrition deck. I'll explain that in a little bit. But here are our two characters that we're facing. Again, I've done a lot of preliminary work for this stream where I've recorded a video which I'm going to edit together, where it shows the characters that I've selected, the gear that I've chosen and why I've chosen it. But I will do a little explanation now as well for these two characters. So one of the characters, Mira, she uses a big bow. She's pretty much just a bow chick. I wonder if I can show her off. I think I can. Let me do this. Aha! There she is. She's just shooting a bow. And then this is Kara. She's wielding two big swords. So there are two characters. We've got coral gear here for our armor set, and then bone gear for here. And we've got 3 bone pieces and a coral piece over here, which has provided us a deck advantage for both of these characters, which will mean absolutely nothing to anyone, but it does mean something to me. So there's lots of great how to play videos on this game. I'm not going to do a full teach. I don't really do teaches anyway. I try to explain a little bit about what's happening, but I don't normally do a full teach. So cool, so let's just review the trial by fire rules and make sure we've got everything right. So, remove the keep your distance objective card. I have done that. At the start of the round, each player discards cards equal to the current round number from the top of their deck, and when we empty our deck, we suffer a heat damage. Cool. All right. So let's deal out our starting set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and have a look at what we've got to play with. Ooh, not bad, not bad. Finesse, oof. So, echoing blades into dance step, into returning blade. Interesting, okay. And then over here, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 cards over here. Oh, yellows and reds galore. When you discard, choose a player to draw one. Nice. Maybe we will go mirror first, actually, with the aggro. Okay, so let's go over here and read the rules for this. At the start of round 1, each player exhausts a potion card. So we are going to exhaust this potion and this potion. I simply brought those potions to be exhausted. The next thing we're going to do, oh, I've spilt water everywhere like an absolute spud. This is what happens when you do stuff live. It's just chaos. Just absolute chaos incarnate. All right. Just going to leave those to dry for a bit of paper. Fortunately, we didn't get it on anything. Good work, mate. Good work, mate. All right. So then, at the start of the round, we also have to discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If this has claw, then we have to suffer damage. So it does not have claw. So we're fine. And finally, the last thing we do, which is the challenge rule, we have to flip one card from our deck representing the unbearable heat. So we've got 2 struggle to contend with, and we've got fire. The fire in this front sector means we cannot play cards in that front sector, so we have to move. So we will move. And precision draw, we want to end with that. Prompt reflexes. Yep. So we're going to use this swift deflection. When you discard this card from your hand, draw 1, and we are going to move into the flank over to there. So, wrong character. So that will actually allow us to play offensive cards because we're no longer in the front of the sector. So then, we're going to assist with that. Interesting. All right, we're going to discard acrobatics, which is a green, for 1 stamina to play graceful defense. So that will allow us to reduce the stamina cost of each defensive card we play this turn by 1. We'll play prompt reflexes. That allows us to draw 1. And we will play decoy. Choose a player to draw 1. We will choose Kara. And then we will play a precision draw, which is a ranged attack, and we will discard bouncing shot to do that. I actually should have cycled as well, so I'm going to cycle. No, that's fine, I'll keep that. So bouncing shot, when you discard this card from your hand, perform volley 2. So 1, 2, so that's going to do 2 damage, no, 1 damage, weapon level, when we do a volley. So 1 damage. This attack will also deal our weapon level, which is 3. So our weapon damage, which is 3. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. 4 damage. And that is the end of our sequence. So we now have to flip a attrition card. We flip a 1, so we do not suffer any damage. Oops. It's going well. I have to trigger this red card. And I have to trigger this card too. Let's do those now. Alright, so this card. Each player in the rear sector must immediately move or suffer damage. We do not have anyone in the rear sector. This one, Karja becomes vulnerable. The active player suffers damage plus X, where X is the number of counters on Karja. So we will suffer 1 damage, and that's it. Then, this one comes in, which is the Nightmare card, and it goes here. Discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If that card has claw, the aggro player suffers damage. No claw. So we've successfully avoided damage from the attrition check. These all get discarded now. We draw back up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. It's going to be an offensive turn next. And then Karja will turn to face, and we now have a new flank or rear. So, do I want to assist? Not for the moment. This allows us to draw 2 cards if it's on top of our deck, Actually, it's not going to be because of that discarding cards at this thing, so we will use that precision shot to allow an assist. So we draw a card. All right, so over here we are going to move because we have a fire here, so we can't play any cards. To do that, we are going to discard this deny. So we haven't triggered anything yet. All right, we're going to play this blue, which is a dance step, discarding this green. So when you play a blue, you remove this. Struggle. We have a vulnerable too, which we need to use. So we will then play a returning blade, which is free, which triggers a couple of things. The first it triggers is this, which is draw one. If you draw a red in this way, draw an additional card. We do. This is interesting. The next thing that happens is we will deal damage, our weapon damage. However, we're going to trigger this first, which is our battle dance. So that's going to deal 3 damage, so 7. And the weapon itself is going to deal 5 damage, which takes it to 12. And that will deal the first wound to Karja, which would allow us to heal 1. However, we have not suffered any damage, and so we're fine. It is going to trigger this. The active player suffers damage unless they can reveal a yellow from their hand. So we can reveal a yellow. And that's it. Rampage. Right, I can play in the sprinkler here. I've triggered Battle Dance once. Can I trigger it again? This chain's in a red, this chain's in a red. This is pretty exciting. All right, so we'll play this one, which is a Crescent Strike, which is going to do another 5. So we've done our first wound, but that's 5. And then we will, and we can play that for free because we're chaining here. Then we're going to play a blue, which we can chain into free because of that red. So that is going to be our second Battle Dance, which is going to deal 5 damage. Actually, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do that. We're going to discard this to play Echoing Blades, which allows us to do exactly the same. Draw 2, 1, 2, and discard 1 from our hand. We're going to discard Cut Through, and because we've triggered 2 reds in a row, we can reclaim this into our hand. That's 5 more damage. We're at 10. Come on, Deno. I'm trying to get this 7. So I can chain this for free on a yellow, but I can chain this for free, which doesn't do any damage. And then I can just play this. All right. So I'll discard this card. I've done 3 of these, which means we're going to do 7 damage, which are going to double to 14. So that's 24. That's 2 wounds. 1, 2. And we still have a yellow in our hand. Our sequence limit is 6 because we played this card, and that is cool. We played aggro, so we have the aggro. Unless this is a 0, we're taking damage. Oh my god, it's a 0! No attrition damage. No attrition damage. How good is that? I don't think I did the actual 5 damage from that either. From that attack. So, how good is that? Alright. So Karja will now turn to face because we're the aggro. We're drawing up 1, 2, 3, 5. So that says when the monster changes its orientation, you may discard. We don't want to do that. However, it's the end of the round, and so we're going to trigger this card. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow. I still have a yellow, so we're fine. This trigger down the bottom here only applies if you can spend struggle. So, however, because he's got this card, this is a rampage, it triggers as soon as another card plays. Yes, there's a lot happening. He gains 2 struggle. It's a complicated game, mate, but I love it. All right, we place a damage token in the front sector because of that. The end of the round, the fire is going to flip. And we're going to shuffle this deck. Because we've gone through this deck, we have to place another struggle here. And then in the behavior refresh, we place 2 more struggle. We discard this. At the start of the round, we discard the top card from this deck. It does have claw, and so we have to suffer damage on Kara. There. All right. So let's do this now. We're in the monster's turn. So we're starting in the front sector. So we trigger this. The active player cannot be assisted this turn. And then the active player skips their movement phase unless they reveal a green from their hand. We do have a green in our hand. The question is, are we going to attack this turn? And I don't think we are, so I think we might just stand still and play some defense. Yep. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to play disengage, which is a green, so we're not moving. We're going to discard backstab to play swing. And then we can play wall of blades for free because we have 3 or more cards in our sequence, so we can pay that card without playing its stamina cost. We keep this in hand, and that's going to be the end of our turn. So at the end of our action phase, when you may reveal a blue from your hand. If you do, search your discard pile for a offensive card and shuffle it back into your deck. Lots and lots of good offensive cards in there. Let's do Crescent Strike. So that's getting shuffled back into our deck. Did I remember to discard 2 at the start of this turn? I don't think I did, so I'll do that now. 1, 2. And here, 1, 2. It's because I've got to remember to move the round counter. So we now trigger the attrition check. It's a 1, but because we didn't move, we have to flip 2 cards. It's still a 1, so we don't suffer any damage. We didn't trigger any of those. These all go away. And we're now going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. So the monster's facing there, so we can do damage with mirror. in the rear. Heavy arrow. When you discard this card from your hand, deal your weapon damage. All right, we can recycle a card in our hand using our helmet. I need to draw an extra card because I have 6 cards in my hand, not 5. That's hard to remember. So I will recycle that ranged position into this. So that deals us 2 damage, but we flip our ultimate shot mastery. I do realise there is a lot happening in this game. So, do we want to move, Deno? If we move, we trigger this. I don't remember what that does, but we can cancel it with our skeletal spear. Let's not move for the moment. So we're going to play a blue card. It's called Sharp Shot. So when you play a blue, you remove a struggle. The next time you play a red this turn, it deals times 2 damage. Does that make it vulnerable? I can't remember. Actually, we'll kick off with Targeted Shot, which is a blue. So next time you play a blue this turn, draw 1. So we draw 1. There we go. We're then going to trigger a heavy shot. Heavy arrow. You may pay an additional 2 stamina to do additional 6 damage. So we're going to discard this. When you discard this card from your hand, perform volley 2. 1, 2. So that will deal 1 damage because we've volleyed. When you discard this from your hand, deal your weapon damage. 1, 2, 3. And then this actual attack itself deals 3 plus 6 is 9. So that takes us to 18, which triggers our 6th wound. Because we've done a wound, we heal for 1. And we're now going to trigger this card. Card becomes vulnerable. See, I knew that. The active player suffers damage, 1 damage. I might have been better off playing that card afterwards. Damn. Oh well. This will play this green to take aim, discarding this blue. Search your discard pile for a card with aim and add it to your hand. So we'll do this. So we've only got 1 defense card, which is not ideal. So we need to flip a 2, yep, so we're taking damage, and a 1. So we're taking 1 damage at that. We do have to flip stance. Place a fire terrain in each damage sector in the board. Damaged, damaged. And then when Karja suffers a wound, place a counter on Karja. Cool, that's it. So we keep that in hand. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6 cards in hand. These all go away. And that's the end of the round. So it's now 16 damage required to do a wound on Karja. She is the new aggro. So Karja will turn to face. It's the end of the round. So we're going to go into round 3. This fire goes away. These flip and flip. we're going to add 2 struggle. We're going to behaviour refresh. Oh no, we have to do this one at the end of the round. Threatened players suffer damage plus X. That's a bad one. I'm going to cancel that. Nope, that's the wrong card to cancel. The wrong person to have that to cancel. So we're both suffering 1 damage. 1 and 1. Mirror's down to 6. That is bad. And then we're triggering this one because it's an automatic. Spending 1, discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If it has claw, it doesn't have claw. Okay, so now we behaviour refresh this one, which brings this one in, and we are unleashing because we're going to 6, which is another 1 damage. Do I take my potion on Mirror? I think so. Mirror is going to take a potion to go back up to 9. So we're both threatened, so we need to move, don't we? We need to move. So Mirror wants to move down to here. Moving's bad as well, don't I? Alright, so we're going to move down to here. Before that happens though, we have to discard 3 cards from the top of our deck. 1, 2, 3. 1, so we're suffering 2 damage. 1, 2. Two, 3. And then we're going to do volley. 1, nothing, 2, so that's going to do 1 damage, 7. Cool, so we'll move using Swift Deflection, which draws that into hand. We're going to suffer 1, 2 damage. However, Kadra is going to suffer 5 damage because we have emptied our deck. It's a wild game, man. Absolutely wild. Okay, we can play up to 5 cards in our sequence. We have moved, so we've lost threatened. So we're in the flank, so we can fire because the flank sector is exposed. We have moved though, and so we have to trigger this card, which says, discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If that card has claw, you will suffer damage. And because he has the ability to spend a struggle, we become threatened. So let's have a look and see if that has claw. It doesn't have claw. We then trigger rampage. Rampage! Card gains 2 struggle. Manipulating this deck is like the key to controlling this game. So we can't play 2 offensive cards in a row at this point in time. So all right. We're going to play Prompt Reflexes, which is yellow. And we're going to discard this blue, mid-air shot. When you discard this from your hand, deal your weapon damage. So we do 1, 2, 3, we're at 15. We need to do 1 more damage to inflict a wound. When you play a yellow, you may recycle this card from your hand. So we'll recycle that. So we'll play Decoy, which is another yellow. Discarding that, we choose a player to draw 1. We will choose we'll choose Kara. Actually, we can't choose Kara because she's not going to be able to attack. we'll choose ourselves. We'll play back flip. You may only play this card after a red. We can't play that. So we have to play blinding shot first, discarding graceful defense, which is a red. So that's going to deal 3 damage, which takes us to 18, which is enough to inflict a wound. So we go down to 2. And because we inflicted a wound, we heal for 1. And then we'll play back flip. So we are threatened because of that stupid card. So the 3 and the 1, we take the 3. However, we've got 3 defensive cards in our hand. And so we do not suffer any damage. Goes like that. We draw back up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Card returns to face. Mirror. Unfortunately, this card is just going to be rubbish. This is going to be a rubbish turn. So let's actually just play smart then, Deno. We'll discard this endless strike. Now we'll discard chains, twin blades. When you discard this card from your hand, deal your weapon damage. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be our move. So we're in Carja's front, so we can't play an offensive card. So what we want to do is play blues. Half moon. Discarding this red, which will remove a struggle. And then endless strike, discarding this, which will remove a struggle. It will deal 3 damage because we have triggered our battle dance. And then because we've triggered our battle dance 3 times, we flip this. When you trigger battle dance, draw 1 and discard a card from your hand. So, because we have this skeletal spear, this could work well for us. This is the card. The active player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. We're actually going to use our skeletal spear to cancel this card and deal 7 damage. So we deal 7 damage, which is 15, which means we're 1 short of doing a wound and healing 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're definitely going to fail our attrition check because the 0 is already gone. So we suffer 1, 2 damage because there is a counter on Karja because we did a wound. Okay, that's the end of the round. So we're going to go over here. We're going to trigger this one. End of the round. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow. I do have a yellow. And here we have a yellow. Done, done, done. So we move on to turn 4. So what happens in turn 4? We flip 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next thing that happens is we refresh this 1 out of here, and that turns into this card, which immediately triggers, and it is discard the top card of the behavior deck. We don't do that. Karja's got 2 struggle, and we're going to be triggering both of these cards. One of them gives vulnerable though, so that's okay. The fire goes away as well, which is nice. Card gains 1 struggle. The active player skips their turn unless another player discards a card, an offensive card from their hand. We only have 1 offensive card, so I guess we'll discard that. And then this one. The active player cannot be assisted this turn. The active player must skip their movement phase unless they reveal a green from their hand. As you can see, we have 2 greens on top. So over here, what's that, you say? It's another struggle because we've emptied the behaviour deck. All right, this is a promising start though. I don't like that as much. All right. So end of the round triggers when someone starts their turn in the rear and triggers when someone moves. We need to move with mirror because we can't do damage where we are. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot our bow with a volley, so that does 1 damage and that does 1 damage, which takes into 16 and then 17. So we do a wound. Karja adds another counter and we suffer 2 damage down here, but then we heal 1 because we did a wound. We've emptied our deck. Thanks to our ultimate shot, we deal 5 damage. So we're at 6. All right, so do we want to move? Yes, we'll use Swift Deflection to move. We'll move over here into this flank sector. That allows us to draw a card thanks to Swift Deflection. Well, this card is the top card of your discard pile. It counts as a green for your sequence. Yep. Heavy arrow, that's nice. Okay, we've moved. And so we trigger this one. Discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If the card has claw, the active player suffers damage. Does it have claw? No. Interesting, interesting choices. So that's the last card we want to play. We also know that the 3 is gone from the deck. 3, 2, 2. So there's a 2 left in the attrition deck. So we have to prevent 2. So how do we best to do this, Deno? Let's just kick off with a heavy arrow. You may pay an additional 2 stamina to increase the damage this attack deals by 6. So we're going to pay those 2, and that's going to deal 9 damage, which is 15. And then we'll just play Intuition, discarding this precision draw. And then we'll just play Ranged Position, which is a green for free. So we know that's going to be a 2. There it is. So we suffer no damage. And we now have the option to deal damage when the monster turns to our sector, which he's going to do now. So that is using our big jaws. When the monster turns to your sector, you may exhaust this to deal 2 damage for each aggro card in your discard pile. That would only be 4 damage. It would heal a wound. Do I want to heal a wound? No, I think we can do better than that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When a player plays red, red, you may discard this to inflict a blind. So we're not triggering any of these. We're not starting in the front, we're not starting in the tail, and it's not the end of the round. So we can play in the proverbial sprinkler over here. If only we had some cards that were good. Chain on a red, draw 1. You may immediately move without paying any stamina cost. When you reveal an attrition card, you may discard this card from your hand. Do we have an assist? We have no assist. This is going to be a very sad turn. We'll play Twist, which is a green, into this. It allows us to draw 1. When the monster changes its orientation, you may discard this card and draw up to your hand size limit. Now that's fine. We'll just play Disengage. So we're just playing 2 greens. Because we're going to end our turn with 2 stamina in our hand, or sorry, 2 cards in our hand, we gain a stamina token. Unless we flip the 3, we can't suffer damage here. We don't flip the 3. We haven't moved, so we flip another one. Alright, so that's good for a number of reasons. End of the turn, these go away. We did play an aggro, so Karja is going to turn to face us. And we now draw 1. Oh, not there, Deno. 1, 2, 3. Stop dealing offensive cards. Okay. Turn 5. So we're going to do behaviour refresh. This one's going to go, end of the round. Come on, Dano. End of the round. Threatened players suffer damage. Oh, we're X's the number of counters on Karja. We're suffering 3 damage on Kara. 1, 2, 3. That's awful, Dano. Can I cancel that? Do I have a cancellation on that? I think I just have one that lets me overrun. Yeah. Oh, bad times. Okay, so that one comes in here. Then I'm going to do that. Oh my God, she's going to get knocked out now. No! Oh no, we get to do Aylmore. Come on. So we'll use our Aylmore to heal. And we go to 6. And then discarding 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aggro is here. We're starting our turn in the front, and so we're triggering this. The active player cannot be assisted, and we skip our movement unless we can reveal a green. We have several greens, so we're fine. All right, we are going to move. How are we going to do that? Deno? We're just going to move using this yellow. I'm going to move into the flank. And then we're going to play Finesse using our stamina token, and that allows us to draw 2. 1, 2. All right, now we're cooking. Blue, Endless Strike, discarding Swing. Endless Strike removes a struggle because it is a blue. Increases our sequence limit. We will chain Scythe into that because it's a red. We've now triggered Battle Dance, so that's going to deal 3 damage. So we heal a wound. Goes to 18, which goes back down to 2. 3 wounds remaining. Come on, Deno. Come on, son. We are going to trigger this red, but we also removed a struggle. Okay, triggering this red, I think this does... Card becomes vulnerable. The active player suffers 3 damage. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, sorry, it's only 1 because we don't suffer the attrition damage. All right. So card is now vulnerable, so we can double a damage on an attack. Yeah, I know, I've got to get this shit together, mate. When you play Trigger Battle Dance, you can draw 1 and then discard a card from your hand. We do that. So then we're going to play this Crescent Strike, which we can chain into a red, which is going to allow us to reclaim this card because we played 2 reds. It's going to do 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll double that to 10, which does another wound. And so we heal. And we've gone down to the final stage. Come on! Come on, Deno, it's not over yet, son. All right, so we flip into this. When revealed, advance the round marker to 8. Okay? And then, so is it 6, 1, 2? Yeah, so it's actually 4 now. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. When a player suffers attrition damage, we suffer 1 additional damage for each counter on Karja. At the end of the round, if Karja's health is 1, all players suffer damage X plus 1, where X is the number of counters on Karja. Very bad, very bad. So we're going to trigger this card. We cannot reveal the yellow, and so we suffer 2 damage. 1, 2. So that's fine. And now, because we did another battle dance, we discard, or draw and discard. So we'll play Echoing Blades, which is a red. Discarding this, Echoing Blades allows us to draw 2, 1, 2, and then discard a card from our hand. And that is going to do... Yep, no, that's fine. And that is going to do another 5. So we're on 6. And that's it. We can end our turn just showing a blue, and so we will put one of these cards back in our hand. Backstab, I guess. Back in our deck, I should say. And now for a very big flip. If we flip a 1 here, we're in good shape. Come on, Deno. Yeah! We suffer no damage. Come on. Draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty sure we played the aggro there. We did. Not that it matters. Karja turns to face. So the problem right now that we have is that we are now triggering 2 cards over here, which is this and this. Karja turns to the active player. That's actually so good. So, we are going to use our big jaws now because Karja's turned to face us. So we are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, that's going to be 8 damage using our big jaws. So it's 14. We then trigger Rampage. Rampage! Gains 2 struggle, which is about to become 3, I'm pretty sure. So we've turned to face there. We're putting this one here. This gets shuffled. Oh my God. Oh, it's crazy stuff. All right, so that goes there. No, this one gets flipped first. That doesn't have claw. So that one's gone, and now this one goes here. Great. That's all of that rubbish. We had to spend a struggle to apply that. All right, Mirror. She's going to start her turn by volleying. That's 1 damage. That's another damage. So we're at 16, and then because we emptied our deck, we're dealing 5, which is 21. We do not want to be on 30, by the way. We just want to be on 29 damage, please. All right. So we do have to suffer 2 damage, 1, 2, because we got through our deck. We'll move using a mid-air shot into the flank. When you discard this card from your hand, deal your weapon damage. 1, 2, 3, that's 24. We'll play a graceful defense, discarding this bouncing shot from our hand. So when we do bouncing shot, we get to volley. 1, 2, no volleys, no. But reduce the stamina cost of each defense card you play this turn by 1. There's 1, that allows us to draw once. And we'll play a blinding shot, which is a red, discarding this. And then you can only play that after a red. The next time you refill your hand, draw 1. We do 3 damage, 1, 2, 3. We didn't trigger any of these. So it's just going to be the one at the end of the round. Come on, Deno. Okay, so he can't do it because it's a 3 is the worst, and we've got 3. So we don't suffer any damage. That all goes away, and then when you refill your hand, we go up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, I should say 7. Okay. It's a moment in time here, Deno. So it's the next round, round 9. We're going to do behaviour refresh. Oh, sorry, we're going to do this. This is at the end of the round. Come on. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow. Oh my God, she doesn't have a yellow. No. She suffers 2 damage. 1, 2. That's it. So then this applies here. So now we do behaviour refresh, which is both of these going away. This and this comes here. Card returns to face. We go to 3. And then we are discarding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We suffer weapon level damage, we suffer fire damage because of our unstoppable. We still have 4 more to discard. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, over here, we are going to deal 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to trigger 5 damage. So it's going to do a wound. So we're on 2. We've done a wound, and so we heal 1, but we then take 2. 1, 2. Oh, shit. We have got 1 health on Kara and 2 health on Mira, and we've got some cards to do. This is not good. This is not good. Oh. 1, how many did I deal? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, So now we're triggering this monster card. The active player cannot be assisted this turn, and it is going to do that unless we can reveal a green. We can reveal a green, so that's fine. Then the Rampage triggers. Card gains 1, 2 struggle, and that's it. I can't remember what that move one does. This is an exciting finish. Blue, blue, green. Oh my goodness. All right, was that we can't be assisted this turn? Yeah, we can't. All right, do we volley? So we need to do 28 damage and we win. He's got 1 wound left. We've done 2 of the maximum of 30 damage. So, let's do this. Blue. The next time you play a blue this round, draw 1. So we're going to discard that. And then we're going to play Acrobatics, which is a green. Are we doing a volley? Yeah, we'll do a volley, sorry. 1, 2, so that's 1 damage. 27, come on, Dano. So yeah, we're going to play Acrobatics, discarding this Precision Draw. No, Accurate Shot and Range position. So that allows us to draw 3, and you may immediately move without paying any stamina cost. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to move to here, which is where we can now play reds, but that does trigger this. Discard the top card. If it's got claw, we're in trouble. Oh, it's not got claw. We become threatened, which is okay, because now we shuffle this and put that back on top of the deck. No! But we're not gonna, are we gonna trigger it? Are we? Let's see if we can get it done now anyway. Heavy Arrow, it's gonna cost us 3. We're gonna discard Bouncing Shot and Combined Assault. And Intuition. So this is going to deal 9 damage. So we're at 12. And then we flip this card here. When you discard this card from your hand, do volley 2. 1, 2. And that's it. And then we'll do a Precision Draw, discarding this. At the start of your turn, if this card is at the top of your discard pile, doesn't matter, it's just another 3 damage, so that's 15. We're ending the round, we're just doing that. It's a 1, so we suffer no attrition damage. And then our deck is empty, so we deal 5 damage, card is at 20. But we die. So we're knocked out. So what happens is card returns to face here because of our aggro, which comes immediately over here. We've got 20 wounds down. We just need to do 10 damage, but we have to trigger this. If this is like deal damage unless you have a fucking red or something. Each player in the rear sector. Yeah! This is bad though. Because we're going to trigger this, and if this card has claw on it, what does it say? The aggro player suffers damage. If this has got claw, we lose. No! Oh no, do I have a way to cancel that? Oh no, Deno. No! We need to do 10 damage. Oh, that was unreal. Karja is victorious and we are defeated with 10 damage required. And all we needed to do was literally play this, into this, into this. It's all over. That was awesome. All right, I'm playing it again because we can. We're not going to get the bonus 20 points for completing the challenge, which you get, as you can see here. Challenge score, 20 points if you complete this challenge on your first try. I did not. But we're going to try. We'll try again. That was awesome. Man, I knew that was going to come up to bite me. I knew it. Ah. I don't think they've done that in later challenges. I think they decided not to proceed with that because it sort of didn't encourage people to want to, try different stuff. But I like it. I'll also just point out that I'm playing this on Nightmare mode. So if I was playing this on non-Nightmare mode, I think we would have pretty comfortably won that. Pretty comfortably. All right. Anyway, you now know how the game goes, so let's do it. Red, move, mouth. Bad start. Damage. This is at turn 1. We start with 2 struggle. We have no aggro here. All of our potions are still good. We do not have ultimate shot. We're starting with 11 health and 12 health. All of our potions, however, because of the challenge, Karja just exhausts a potion. So we'll exhaust those too. And at the start of the round, we discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If it has claw, it does have claw. Players in the front sector suffer damage. It's a good start. Well, actually, it's not too bad because we did a lot of damage that we couldn't heal. Because we inflict a wound and we heal. So we'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're discarding a card from the top of our deck because it's turn 1. This one, we're dealing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're discarding the top one from our deck. That's good. Yeah. Got an assist. Yeah, we'll start here. We're going to assist, which allows us to draw a card. And then we are going to move. We are actually going to trigger this before we even start. Karja gains 1 struggle unless the active player discards a card from their hand. We have Blinding Shot gone. Oh, it's a bad start. Look at this. We're gonna be moving because we have to move to play any cards. So. Yep. So we're gonna move using Endless Strike over to this flank sector over here. That's gonna trigger Karja plopping this one. Discard the top card of the behaviour deck. If that card has claw, we suffer damage. Guess what? It does have claw because it's the nightmare card. What What a joke. And we become threatened as well. Delightful, delightful start. Threatened. At least we're going to apply vulnerable. That's nice. Chain into a yellow, chain into a red. Okay, we'll play dance step. And we're going to discard this wall of blades. No, we're going to discard disengage. So that's a blue. Removes a struggle. We can chain nothing here. We'll play air blade, which allows us to draw one. We're going to discard this yellow. Draw one. Wonderful. That's going to do 3 damage because we've applied our 1, 2, 3 battle dance. It's also going to remove another struggle. No, it's not. That's not from that. It's going to trigger this. Card becomes vulnerable. We suffer 1 damage. So vulnerable allows us to double the damage on a swing. Oh, not that one, Deno. So yeah, so we'll just apply this red when you trigger battle dance. So we'll just do 10 damage because we get to double our 5, which will do a wound because he's only 12 on the first one, so we can heal a wound. We've triggered battle dance once in the first turn. We end with 1 card. We can't do anything. We played no defense cards. We're threatened, so we're definitely suffering damage. It's a 1 or a 0. That is irritating. That is irritating to see that 0 come out there. We suffer 1 damage. We draw 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so Kanji turns to face there. So now Mirror, she's going to move. She's got fucking fuck all cards in her hand. She's going to move using intuition into the rear. She's got not a lot of stuff going on here. She can recycle this graceful defense. Yep, let's do it. Do we have an assist at all, Deno? No assist. What is our best play? Is it just to have a card with aim? We do. All right. We'll use our take aim, discarding accurate shot. Search your discard pile for a card with aim and add it to your hand. Sharp shot, it's a blue. It's not a good turn, really. It's not a good turn. All right, we'll keep 2 in hand. We moved, so, oh, we get a 2. That's just awful. We didn't play an aggro though, so she'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's a better turn. End of the round triggers. Threatened player suffered damage plus X. Of course, that friggin' threatened. That is just tragic. Okay, it's the end of the round. We move on to round 2, the fire flips. Kanji is going to gain 2 struggle. We're going to do a behaviour refresh, which discards this one and this one. Then we're going to flip and see if this has got claw. It doesn't have claw. Kanji is going to gain a struggle. And then we're going to trigger this one. We're starting in the front. Each player in the rear sector must immediately move or suffer damage. Mira will move. Spending her stamina token, she'll move up to here. So that's fine. We're then triggering a rampage. Cards you gains 2 struggle. Stance 1, place a damage token in the front sector. That's a really, really bad start. That's going to trigger a rampage, which is another 1 damage to both. Alright, I think this will be a challenge. Draw 1, draw 1. We'll use this to move, so we're into the flank. So we can play an attack card if we had one, which we don't, but we clear our threatened is the main thing. We'll play Finesse, discarding Shadow Step. We'll play Perfection, discarding Cut Through. If this is a red, we get to play it immediately. It's not a red. Do we hold? We haven't seen the 3 yet. Yeah, we'll hold these 2. We'll take a stamina token. Let's see if we can flip the 3. No, no damage. 1, 2, 3. Of course we get 3 reds. We will assist Mira. So he turns to face and Mira gets an assist, so she draws a card. Okay. We need to do some damage, Deno. See if you can do some damage, you pest. We'll play Prompt Reflexes, discarding Sharp Shot. That allows us to draw 1. Oh, we'll also recycle this Combined Assault as well. There we go. I did move, didn't I, to here. Decoy, which is another yellow, discarding Swift Deflection, allows us to draw 1, and we also draw 1 because we discarded our Swift Deflection. Alright, let's pop a red shot off. Done a wound, Deno. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 aims in our discard pile. That one is interesting then. Precision Shot. Increase the damage this attack deals by 2 for each card with aim in your discard pile. We are going to discard Mid-Air Shot to do that. When you discard Mid-Air Shot, it's just assisting when this guy's about to start. So I don't think it makes too much difference when you're playing solo. Maybe it does when you're, maybe it does. I've already lost, so I'm devastated. Okay, Precision Shot. How many cards do we have with aim in our discard pile? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be 8 plus the actual damage of 11, which is 12, which does a wound. So we heal the damage to go to 9, and it also deals 3 damage from the Mid-Air Shot. So then we'll pay Heavy Arrow and we'll discard these 2 to deal another 9, which deals another wound, healing us again to 10 because it's 6 plus 3 and we already had 3, and then we'll finish by playing a backflip, which allows us to refill our hand and getting a bonus one. Let's hope we flip the 3. Yeah, that's awesome. So these go away. 1, 2, 3. We've emptied our deck, which means we suffer 2 damage. Four, 5, 6. And that's good. So we can start our turn with a volley now. I had to trigger 50 of these. This one first. Card becomes vulnerable. I'm putting another 9 on there. We suffer 1 damage. And then this one, we could not reveal a yellow from our hand. So we're suffering another 1 damage. Then we're triggering this nightmare card, which is discard the top card. I'm pretty sure this does have claw. No, it doesn't. Nice. 1, 2. And then both of these are triggering. This one first. Nobody's threatened. Each player in the flank and front sectors, which is both, suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. 1 yellow. No! 1 damage. Poof. Turn 3. So we gain 2 struggle. We'll do behavior refresh, which is going to trash this. This one's going to go here. We'll discard this and see if it's got claw. It doesn't. And then we discard 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. She's going to volley. 1, 2. So she deals 1. And now we can assist here again if we wanted to. We're not leaving her many cards in hand. No, we won't assist. Ooh, I love this. I love this. So, we're not going to move at this point in time. So we'll play a targeted shot, which is a blue, which is going to remove a struggle. And then we'll play acrobatics, discarding this backflip, which allows us to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. And then it allows us to move without paying any stamina cost. We'll move to here. Does trigger this movement 1. Discard the top card of the behavior deck. If it has claw, it does not have claw. Instead, we suffer that. Did I have to trigger that? I can't remember. Yep, so that's fine. He's spending that. All right, so we can now play a red. But let's play a bouncing shot. No, let's play a sharp shot, which is a blue, which removes a struggle. And then we'll play an intuition, which is a yellow, discarding swift deflection, which allows us to draw a card. And then we'll play a precision draw, discarding bouncing shot. When you discard bouncing shot, perform volley 2. 1, 2, so that's 2 damage. 1, 2, which does the wound. And then we're also going to be dealing 2, 5 damage as well. Advancing to stance 2. And we can't fail to suffer damage. So we're fine. Are we threatened? No. Yes. Damn. Would have been a good time to use our big jaws. Alright, so none of these triggered because of the way we played it. However, we advance to the next stance. We place a fire terrain in this sector and this sector. That doesn't apply burning. And we heal the wound because we did a wound. And we need to do 16 to deal the next stage. So none of that triggers. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to suffer 2 damage, 1, 2. But we're going to deal 5 damage to Karja. So that's 10. And do we have an assist? We do. Accurate shot is probably our best assist. Yep, so we'll do an assist there. It's this guy's turn. He's not triggering. She's not triggering anything rather, but she's going to spend her stamina to move to here. Then we do the assist. Draw 1. Chaining into a blue, chaining into a red. Alright, so let's do backstab, which is just going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll play twist, which is a green. It allows us to draw 1. We suffer 2 damage. Okay, Rectum, we're playing a game called Primal the Awakening. So we'll play Returning Blade for free, which deals 3. 1, 2, 3. That heals us a wound. Go to 5. Karja gets a thing. And we're going to trigger Battle Dance now, but we're going to play Echoing Blades, discarding Natural Agility. That allows us to draw 2, 1, 2, and then discard 1. We'll discard the green. We get a second token on Unstoppable. We deal 3 damage from that, and then we deal 5 damage, which takes us to 8. Because of the Battle Dance, and because we triggered Battle Dance, it gets +2 damage until the end of the turn. Karja is actually facing here. And that triggers this. The active player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow. We suffer 1 damage. We do not have a yellow. We immediately trigger this, which does nothing, and then this goes in. Man, we are getting pounded here. I'm going to end my turn there, which is going to give us a stamina. And we can reveal a blue to shuffle an offensive card. We don't have any. This needs to be a 1. It is a 1, so we don't suffer any damage, which is good. And we're going to deal 1, 2, 3. End of the round, we're triggering this. No threatened players. Oh, actually, Mira is threatened because of that stupid card. She's down to 3. This one triggers. Each player in the front and flank sectors suffers damage unless they can reveal yellow. We have multiple yellows. We're fine. Spending that. Whew. Turn 4. All right, we are going to use our Aylmore on both, which is going to heal us up to 7 and heal us up to 7. Aggro there, it's fine. So we're then going to do behavior refresh, which is going to trash both of these. It's going to trigger this one. He does not have anything to spend, so nothing will happen. And that will then trigger the rampage. Kaji gains 2 struggles, so it's at 4 struggle. And that's it. Powerful turn. Do we cancel that, do 7 damage? Yeah, I think we will cancel that one using our skeletal spear. So we're not going to add that, we're just going to stay there. And that deals 7 damage, which means it's only 1 to do another wound. And that, I feel like we can do chain blue, blue, chain blue. All right. Do we have the good assist? We don't. Precision shot would be really nice. No, we'll discard precision shot to do this over here. Okay. This will be a good turn for Kara. She's going to spend a stamina to move over to here. And she's going to play a dance step. And she's going to discard this divert to do that. That is going to remove a struggle. Then she triggers this because she moved. Discard the top card of the behavior deck if it has a claw. It does not have a claw. We become threatened. I think we're going to move anyway again. So we can chain into this for free. So chain blue, we remove a struggle. We draw 1. If we draw a red, no, it's fine. So that is going to be our 3rd battle dance. So that's going to deal 3, which takes us to 18. And that attack is going to deal 5, which takes us to 23. Which means we have 7 wounds. We heal a wound because we have the reef-bound plate, but then we're triggering this. The aggro player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. We cannot reveal a yellow from our hand, and so we suffer 1 damage. Actually, yep, 1 damage. So we'll play a blue discarding this. When did that trigger? Yeah. So that had a struggle, we then discard it. We're going to apply vulnerable. Okay, so then we're going to use this air blade, which is a chain, so that's going to do 5 damage. So we're at 12. And we're going to deal our weapon damage, which is 17. So that does another wound. We heal 1. And then it also deals another 5, so we are at 6. And we draw a card. So we know the 0 is not coming, so we're suffering a lot of damage from this demo. We've triggered Battle Dance again. So we're flipping this. Yep, well we can't stop it. It's coming, so that's 5 damage. We're down to 3. 2, 3, 4. That's trouble. But we've flipped out Unstoppable. Card returns to face. We will not use Big Jaws. Mira's going to move. Sorry, she's going to volley. No volley. 1 volley for 1. She'll move using this combined assault into the flank. We're going to assist her with this endless strike. She draws a card. We'll play Graceful Defense, which is a yellow. We can then play this for free, draw a card. This for free. We can search for our discard pile for a card with aim and add it to our hand. Yeah, doesn't matter. We're just going to shoot a precision draw, which is going to deal 3 damage, 1, 2, 3. So we're at 10. We're unfortunately triggering this vulnerable and we can't do anything with it. I wonder if we should actually play that because we know it's going to get refreshed anyway. Actually, yeah, the active player suffers damage, yep. We're not going to play that red. We know that one. We're not playing that red. So we'll hold that. We suffer no damage. It's the end of the round. Karja flips this. Not this one, sorry. Karja flips this one, end of the round. Threatened players, 1, 2, 3, 4. Suffer damage plus X. Unfortunately, that is going to knock out Kara because she was threatened because of that other stupid card. So she's knocked out. That might be a second failed attempt, friends. Let's see how the cookie crumbles. Turn 5. We're going to add 2 struggle. We're going to behaviour refresh this one away. And because she's knocked out, the aggro player is Mira, so she turns to there. The fire goes away. Mira has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in her hand. She does have to discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's going to suffer 2 damage, and then she's going to deal 5 with the emptying her deck. 5, 4, 3. So she'll volley, volley. So that triggers 2 wounds to go and moves into our final stance. Advance the round marker to 8. Karja is done there. And then Fire Burst. When a player suffers attrition damage, that's bad. We're starting the round with this. Karja gains 1 struggle. If we're the only player standing, we must discard a thing from our hand instead. Oof. And now the drugs don't work. They just make things hurt, but I know I'll see your face again. We're going to discard acrobatics to move into the same sector with our trick, and then we're going to discard backflip to heal her effectively, flipping that to that. Do need to put the wound in there, don't we? We'll shuffle that in a second. Then we'll play a decoy, which allows us to draw 1. And I think our only option here is to play this, maybe it's play both of them actually. Yeah, we'll play both. So we discard 1 of those. That's a green. It's a 2, so we suffer no attrition damage. We'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. May have actually forgotten to heal a wound when I did a wound, so that's fine. Alright. And that's the end of the turn. All she does is heals and stands back up. Karja's in a turn to face, so we may use this. 1, 2, 4 damage is not a worthwhile use of that, Deno. It's round 9. So we are going to behaviour refresh. Oh no, we're going to trigger this one. So we can reveal a yellow. And she can hopefully reveal a yellow. One, two. Please reveal a yellow. Yeah. And we'll spend that. Have to reveal 2 yellows, which we can. Then we behaviour refresh this out of the way. This comes in here. We're starting in the front with our aggro, which is Mira. So we're triggering this. What does this do? Each player in the rear sector must move. There's no one in the rear sector. Aggro. Karja gains 2 struggle. This bad boy comes in straight away. Discard the top card of the behaviour deck if it has claw. It doesn't have claw. This comes in. We gain 1 more struggle. And Mira can finally have a turn. Oh no, I haven't even done the... haven't even discarded our cards yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What was this return? Reclaim. It's 3 offensive cards in a row. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to suffer 2 damage, but then we're going to deal 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. Volley. 1 damage. Alright. We'll move to the flank. When you discard, draw 1. We can't afford to suffer damage here. So we'll play prompt reflexes. Oh, no. Here's what we'll do. We'll play this blue first, which discards that. Then we'll play prompt reflexes, discarding precision shot. That allows us to draw a card. Yes. We'll play a mid-air shot, which is a blue. That allows us to draw 1. We'll play a decoy. That allows us to discard that. Choose a player to draw 1. We'll choose ourselves. And then we'll discard all of these for a heavy arrow, which is going to apply vulnerable, but that's okay. 6 plus 9, so that's 16. Come on, Deno. This doesn't need to be a 3. It's not a 3, it's a 0, so we suffer no damage. But we do trigger this, which I know what it does. Card becomes vulnerable. We suffer enough damage to knock out her as well. So let's see if we can get it done over here with Kara. She needs to go bunta. We're triggering this. We cannot be assisted and we skip our movement phase unless we can reveal a green. If we can't reveal a green, we are in big trouble. We cannot reveal a green. Oh, we're going to let a vulnerable potentially go out the door. Maybe not actually, because we can use our blues. Yep, we'll play a half moon, discarding this. I'll play twin blades, discarding this. And that's going to deal 3, which will double to 6, 22. We have no defense, so we're suffering attrition damage of 6. Ew, that is awful. Well, when you trigger battle dance, draw 1 and discard 1. All right, well, boom and boom. We suffer 6 damage. We're on 1. We couldn't move there. There's not much you can do about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 10th turn, and we're going to die again because we have to discard 10 cards. Have we got more than 10 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's it. Oh no, we don't suffer attrition damage. We do suffer heat damage. God, are you fucking idiot. Fuck you. The nightmare mode makes that hard. That is the challenge that we signed up for, so. Cool, well there you go. There's a couple of cracks at Kaja in the trial by fire, which you can see here. We did not succeed. And so we have ended below 50 points. We have ended at 0 points, which is an absolute disgrace. But I stand by the fact that Nightmare Mode makes that a lot harder. And here's why Nightmare Mode makes it harder. Kaja has a lot of cards that say flip a card, and if it says claw, do damage. So the Nightmare card is called Rapid Claws. And so it has claw, and then it will cause you to trigger it again and do claws. So constantly gaining struggle, constantly flipping cards. Amazing challenge though. Enjoyed it. That's it. I'm signing off. Have a fantastic week. I couldn't paint tonight because I would have started too late and would have kept Mossy up. So we're playing this instead. It's good. I like it. All right, I'm going to kick off recording a new campaign is going to be what I'm going to do next. So I'll catch you all then. BigDeno out.